Hey, Chris Liepe here. Deftones, Cherry Waves, Studio Multitracks, or stems in this case. Oh, what wonderful, never dissected before layers, at least to my ears, and I'm sure to many of your ears as well. Part of the fun of Deftones and Deftones Multitracks is the production choices are so well hidden or fit together in the final mixes that when you get them by themselves, especially the vocals, but in this case, the drums, like what they're doing with the band limiting of the drums and the strategic use of samples, and it's just so cool. It's so fun. This is one of my favorite Deftones melodies, and so it's going to be super fun to go through here. The way that the vocals are produced here, it's not that unlike some of the other tracks, My Own Summer, stuff like that. But because of the way he sings here and the way that the production complements the way he sings, going up into those incidental screams, and the way he goes down to fry, and all these interesting things he does with his voice are so accentuated by the production. I'm able to do multi-track analyses like this on my channel because this is an education channel. I teach people how to sing. And so these videos, the copyright owners will allow me to make them because they fall under fair use. But there are some stipulations. I can't just play the whole song. I can't play long portions of the song, and I can't play all the parts of the song at the same time. I've tried it, and the videos have been taken down. So I have to do short sections. I have to stop and talk and add educational value to what we're listening to. So that's why these are formatted the way they're formatted. Also, if you have any interest in taking your singing to another level, or starting to sing, or maybe you do sing and you want to learn how to produce vocals better, maybe you don't sing and you want to learn how to produce vocals better, click the link below and join my free course. I'll help you get started with lots of creative ways to discover what your voice can really do. Let's do this. So we're going to start with the kick and the drums, and you just have to listen. Sample altered. I love that sort of envelope thing that's going on. There's a rhythm there and how that reverses, right? Like, right? And then you combine the snare. The way you hear the snare articulations, even within that sample, in a new way here. And then you put the cymbals or overheads in. There you're really hearing the snare articulations. I love that you can really hear the room. Very different flavor of... They're band limited on the low end, so you really hear that, the quality of the kick and the snare. And then love it. Nice washy verb on the snare. That sounds very triggered, but as is the way things go. But I love it when they switch up the sounds between sections in the songs for drums, but they do it subtly, and that's what makes this so awesome. That cool bass slide. Just, That bass line shouldn't make any sense, right? I mean, almost droney pad-like guitars. Just love this song. The way the pocket works, where that the drums are pushing and that bass is lagging behind just ever so slightly. Some guitar goodness. Oh. Beautiful. It's really neat to hear this part without the drums. Fun little backing vocal thing there. Yeah. Subtle pad. Something I never would have really heard. If you listen carefully, you can hear these different placements where they've got these really wide, guitars, and then they've got the octave stuff and more, high articulate stuff panned in just a little bit, and it's perfectly complemented by what's going on in the synth, which is super wide. Yeah, and listen to this section. It's just the bass. And you turn the bass distortion pedal off. Let's dig into these amazing, amazing vocals.
A sea of waves, we hug the same plank. Just as I rehearsed over in my brain.
The use of vocal fry here, and he's just, because things are so compressed from an audio compression standpoint, and I'll show you how to use saturation and compression here towards the end of the video if you want to get a similar sound with this in your own vocals. But he can lean into these sounds, and listen right here.
Just as I rehearsed.
Just as I rehearsed. You know how when you're sort of just kind of mumbling under your breath, and then sometimes you talk a little bit fryish and like that? That's kind of what he's doing while he's singing. And it's super awesome that he's worked it into the overall vibe of what he's doing. And I love this, like, almost exaggerated fry here.
My brain.
and just letting it go.
The way.
Do you hear the harmonic quality of his voice there? There's this rasp that he does. Listen again.
The way.
Almost sounds like two tones. The way. No. The waves. You can sort of hear it with what I'm doing. This is compression. This is vocal compression, not audio compression. We're using the very top of our vocal tract, and we're inserting a stage whisper over the top of clean singing. But it feels high in the throat, not low in the throat, so it doesn't make you want to choke, cough, or give you tickles in your throat. More on that in another video.
The waves.
So I love the incidental, breakups that he's got, but wow, so incredibly distorted. There's a lot of drive going on here. The way he sings, yes, he leans in at good points, but it allows him to be super reserved and then bend out into something and then come back, and it's okay to do this sort of intimacy moment with the mic. You're in a fight with it and you're crying for a minute and you're yelling for a minute and you're whispering and you're ambivalent. When you have this level of dynamic control on the vocals, you can do so much freely with your voice. That's what he is showing here.
Just sink down beneath. I'll swim down. Would you?
Again, exiting from Fry, that you're using Fry. Listen to this section here again.
Just sink down.
That's how he sort of flips his voice, Bono style.
Sink down.
Sink down.
Beneath. I'll swim down. Would you?
So cool.
You hang the anchors over my neck.
He has multiple approaches when it comes to his rasp. Sometimes it's just a sort of sigh whisper. Sometimes it's that compressed waves. Yeah, like that, where we're subtly holding back air. You lift my desk, you. And you hear those little harmonic things happening. You, but it's not quite you, which you hear him go in and out of quite a bit.
You hang the anchors over my neck.
And the way he uses Fry there. Oh, listen.
I liked it at first, but the more you lie.
But the more, going in and out of that Fry. So intimate sounding.
The more you laugh, the crazier I can.
You can tell there's a lot of distortion and drive, partially because you can just hear it, but also the way the breaths are just as loud and musical. There's just as much of a part of the line as the notes.
The waves.
Favorite part of the melody right there, just how dissonant that is against the music.
Like you should sink down beneath a swim down you. Is that what you want?
What amazing abandon right there, right? Listen again.
Is that what you want?
You could outline that with this abandon principle, right? He's abandoning on that.
Is that what you want?
What? I'm exaggerating everything to make a point, right? But we have so many different characteristics coming out in this one line. We have a solid what? Then as he goes down, he has that harmonic, rich, compressed whisper over the clean note. And then with that,
Is that
Fry is. So if we practice this approach, abandoning to that, is that what you want? Ooh. I mean, never mind that I sound different. I'm taking his approach and I'm abandoning into a scream, exploiting my vocal break over that. I'm starting with Fry, and then what you should be fairly clean, although I can let my voice break up a little bit.
Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
Love that slide there. What? Notice how that is more band limited than this? They took some EQ, some lows and highs out of it. Dried it up a little.
If like you should sink down beneath a swim down, would you?
Oh, listen to the quality of his rasp there.
Would you?
Just practicing that.
Would you? Is that what you want? Would you? Is that what you want? Would you?
Hear that multi-tone there? Partially accentuated by the distortion that's on the voice, but it's there in his voice.
Below.
Oh, the way the delay picked that up.
Escape. Below.
So, in order to take advantage of the sound and really lean into it over the track, I have placed a limiter first. So that we hit the limiter and it accentuates my breaths and squashes the signal instantaneously, even before it gets to the compressor, which you can see I'm still compressing right here. And I'm adding saturation before the second compressor, and I've brought up the highs a little bit. And then I've got two reverbs. I've got a short reverb inside what you want. And then this is a short one, a room, and then I've got a hall, which is longer, and it has a pre-delay set up on it so that it doesn't happen at the same time as the room reverb. It lets the room reverb happen and then the hall reverb. And then we have the delay. Short, widened delay. The left and right are set slightly off. You can see with this particular plugin articulates that with groove. If you're listening to headphones, you can hear it coming on both sides, even though the center image of the vocals is in the center. And then I've put this band-limited delay so we can really dig in. And all these things that I was talking about earlier, where you have the rasp, and you hear sort of that two-note harmonic thing going on, it's accentuated by the distortion and the verbs. And then when you whisper and fry and scry, and whisper around. Oh, it's so fun to lean into. This is what is inspiring about Deftones Multitracks and hearing the isolated vocals. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Again, if you want more help with your own voice and your own production, click the link below and join my free course. We'll see you for more.